Plaintiff Jeff Crispell loves barbecue, and he stumbled upon the defendant's restaurant while looking for the next best barbecue joint. Jeff claims he and the defendant became good friends, so Jeff gave him money to invest in a business, but he has yet to be repaid. Defendant Joe Jones says he's a chef who has mastered the art of barbecue, which is why he owns and operates a very successful restaurant. Joe admits that he borrowed money from Jeff, but insists Jeff gave him more time to repay.
Tell me what happened.
Sir, I love barbecue. I'm a great barbecue lover, and I'm always looking for the next great thing. I found this restaurant, ate there many times, enjoyed the food, thought this was really good stuff, and I said, I've got to know, who's behind this operation. So I asked to meet the owner. So I was introduced to Mr. Joe Jones here.
Okay. Where is it located?
This is in Santee, California, just outside of San Diego.
Oh, okay. All right.
I was doing a memorial service for my late wife. We had about 75 people, and I needed a really good catering service. So I asked him to provide for us, and it really worked out really well.
Yeah.
From that, we struck up a friendship, based on my love for the barbecue. And from there, we also talked about doing a recipe because he's got some outstanding ideas. And so from that, we were starting to work on a promotional item for his recipe and his book and some contacts.
Defendant Joe Jones befriended the plaintiff after he ate at Joe's barbecue restaurant, and he's being sued for failing to repay a business loan.
Let me get some background from him before we get into this issue of the breach of contract, sir.
Yes, Judge. My name is Master Chef Joe Jones.
All right.
And Judge, I just like to take you for just a little barbecue ride, just for a moment.
All right.
Tell you a little bit about my background.
Sure.
It all started back in the woods of Mississippi. At the age of 11 years old, I was always fascinated with my grandfather and my grandmother and my mother's cooking. So I wanted to be like my grandfather, be a master smoker. And I was able to be that master smoker.
I'm a master smoker too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I hope not. Unfortunately, sir, these days they've turned that around. So, unfortunately, these days, street folks in particular, when they say smoker, they mean somebody smoke crack.
Well,
so that's not what you talking to. You want no master.
I don't deal with that.
Now, I know what you're referring to. You put it in the smoker.
Well, Your Honor, I do have a new grill called JB7000 Master Grill Smoker that I developed that is unbelievable.
All right.
But to tell you a little bit about my story is people always will ask me, now I reside in California.
Okay.
They always ask me, said, you cook really well. Where did you learn how to cook like this? And I explained to him, I said, my grandfather taught me. I said, because we didn't have no refrigeration units when I was a little kid, so we had to smoke all our meats. And I was able to learn the art. It's art to that. Just anybody just can't pick up and do this.
All right.
So I was always fascinated over it. And I decided, I said, I want to make a career out of this.
Good.
I have mastered the art.
Good. All right.
I can take brisket and cook it one time. It comes out like that 1,000 times.
You have a card for me?
Yes, sir. I got some. Matter of fact, I got some photos for you.
All right. I come to San Diego frequently. My daughter goes to Jefferson Law School there, Thomas Jefferson Law School.
Yes, sir. I know exactly where you're at. But I got some photos of my business there I would like for you to take a look at. And
it's not too expensive, is it?
No, it's not too expensive.
I just want to make sure, because she's not the only daughter. I got another daughter in law school, Jade.
Matter of fact,
and so I can't afford too much expensive food with these daughters in law school.
Matter of fact, I bought you two bottles of barbecue sauce now.
Right.
You look like you spicy, but I bought some mild too.
That's exactly what I eat.
Right,
mild. That's exactly what I eat. Mild.
That's an old family recipe.
I love barbecue sauce, the mild kind. Let me get back to him for the specifics on the contract and the breach thereof.
I love this man. He's a great person, as you can tell. And from the relationship, I felt that I could to work with him. And
what was the agreement you all came to?
It was a personal agreement. He approached me about a personal loan. And
How much?
I said it was for $3,200.
Okay. How much has he paid?
Zero.
Okay, and when you ask him about your money, what does he tell you?
I've gotten kind of basically the runaround. I've never really gotten a straight story. It seemed like there was always money around the corner, but it never made it to my hands.
Is the business doing well from what you can see?
I'm a little unsure about that. I know that he's developing some new products. He says that he's tied into some major suppliers.
Sir,
I'm hoping he's doing quite well.
Okay, sir, he says that you owe him money and you won't pay him, and I thought your business was doing well. Tell me what's happening here.
Well, you and I run into a few snags.
Okay.
And then I was on the food channel at one time.
Okay, we've done enough promotion. Now we have to talk about, do you owe this man $3,200? Did you?
Well, yeah, I did borrow that
Do you
money
have a
from
defense
him.
to not paying him?
Well, Your Honor, I had explained to him, I called him up and I explained to him, I said, look, Jeff, I said, I know it's supposed to be 90 days, but I done run into a little problem.
And what did he say?
And Jeff said, okay, I'll give you some more time.
All right. Is
All
that
right.
true?
It's true.
How long? Did you say 2 more weeks or a couple more months? Did you have an understanding? Did you all have a meeting of the minds on how long that extension would be?
No, we did not.
All right.
Defendant Joe Jones befriended the plaintiff after he ate at Joe's barbecue restaurant, and he's being sued for failing to repay a business loan.
What do you want to play from? Anything?
This is a voice message that was left for me, and I think that will help explain
All right.
some of the timeline.
Let's hear.
Good morning, Jeff. How you doing? This is Smoking Joe. I got your claim, and what I'm going to do is, before the 18th, I'm going to have your money, and then you have to just tack on whatever else you want to tack on. But I just had a lot of problems, too many problems. But I will get that money, and I will give it to you.
18th of what?
August.
You said you'd have it on the 18th of August, sir. You're quite late. And that was the extension you were asking for. 18th of August. You've gone significantly beyond that. You are an honorable man based on what I've heard. You're telling him you had a little interruption in your business, but you're assuring him you'll pay him back. You wanted to August 18th. You've gone beyond that. Obviously, you haven't quite gotten it together yet. So hopefully your advertisement on here today to millions of people that watch will get you enough money to pay this man back. But we can't wait on that. So we're going to pay him as soon as you can, as in the next 2 weeks. Have a good day. $3,200 is your judgment, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. You know what? I really love this man. I still treat him as a good friend. I just hope that his business does well.
Jeff, I'm sorry that it's taken this far, and I really apologize. And I still consider you as a friend. I don't have no hard
Best to you, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.